Welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Quantity YGO YouTube channel. Today I want to bring you my prediction for the 2020 ban list here in September. Today is the 1st, I'm recording this on the 1st and it will be released on the 2nd. However, I wanted to put my thoughts into this as a more casual player. We do not have any competitive events at the moment due to the ongoing pandemic that is worldwide. However, we have had 2 invitationals in regards to remote duels that Konami have hosted in North America and Europe. So potentially they are looking to those in regards to correlating information to produce a efficient and fair ban list for us as players. But without any further ado, here's my prediction for the 2020 September TCG ban list. The first card up I want to discuss with you is of course Block Dragon. Now this card in Adamantipator, as we all know, is broken. The fact that you can special summon this any amount of times per turn, providing you have earth monsters in the graveyard, and then being able to add monsters that are rock type equal to the level of 8 to your hand to continue your plays, it's getting to the stage where Block Dragon should have been gone a long while ago. And the fact that you can also use this effect on your opponent's turn when you link it away with IP Masquerena essentially means that you're able to continuously gain advantage over your opponent. So this card needs banning. It can't be put down to 1 because it's still going to be taken advantage of in regards to Adamantipator's. The next 2 cards I want to discuss in tandem because I believe it's one or the other in regards to any potential ban of this card. The first one is Link Cross, and the second one, you probably guessed it, is Christian Fibrax. Now, for me, these 2, it's essentially you're playing devil's advocate. So whether you ban Link Cross or you ban Christian Fibrax, Link Cross for me is the one that will probably be sacrificed by Konami once competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Is back up and running. But if they do ban anything on this list, then it will be Link Cross. Of course, people are mad about how easy it is to combo off with Christian Fibrax, especially when you have a long Jet Synchron. Essentially, you make it into a 1-card combo, whereby you then are able to synchro summon the Savage Dragon as well as Herald. The outright, so that you can have 2 Omni Negates on the field. However, for me, Link Cross is the card that needs to go. Christian Fibrax being in your extra deck isn't as bad as Link Cross, essentially because Christian Fibrax needs specific cards to be summoned, whereas Link Cross just needs any Link monster. Up to the level of up to the link of 3, so that you can generate tokens. So having the option in which you're purely going to Hulk, I believe that a lot of players will prefer, rather than having Link Cross in the game to make your combos even more degenerate. So the 3 cards I've just discussed are purely getting banned. If we do get an efficient and an accurate ban list from Konami, but like I said, that is dependent on whether they're using the remote duels in regards to correlating this list. On to the limited list, the first card I want to discuss is Eldritzer of Scarlet Sanguine. Now, for me, this is a card that's going to essentially lower the consistency of the Eldritch side of the majority of decks. So you've got Synchro Eldritch, you've got Synchro Eldritch Dogmatica, you've got Eldritch Invoked. But Scarlet Sanguine seems to be the one card that gives them more consistency. Being able to special summon your Golden Lord and essentially chain block your Hakuero or your Conquistador to either banish a card from the graveyard or pop a card on the field, essentially means that you're slowing that deck down, you're lowering the consistency level as well as the ceiling. Therefore, you're essentially neutralizing how far they're able to go into their combos. It means that they have to search out Sanguine, and it also means that they have to think about their plays a lot more efficiently. The next card on the limited list, probably a controversial one, is Verti Anaconda. Now, since the release of the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, we are looking at a format whereby Dragoon is going to be prominent in that. Verti Anaconda essentially gives you the option in which to summon Dragoon without having the components in your hands, such as Red Eyes Fusion. Life points, as we know it, are becoming more and more a resource to us as players rather than a hindrance. Therefore, Verti Anaconda at anything more than one gives any deck that is able to splash Dragoon, or any deck that has room for essentially 2 bricks and a fusion card, means that it's going to be more accessible, it's going to be more abusable. Therefore, Verti Anaconda needs to be limited. So that rounds off the limited section of my prediction. We'll move on to the 3-ofs. I haven't done a semi-limited because I don't believe in a semi-limited. For me, you either put the card on the forbidden list, you either limit it, or you allow it to stay in the game at its maximum of 3. But the first card I want to discuss is Tour Guide from the Underworld. Now, Tour Guide, as we know, is at 2 at the moment, and it hasn't been seen too much relevant play outside of the Burning Abyss archetype. It has been splashed in Unchained, however, people seem to be dropping it more for a pure variant of that deck. But for me, with Phantom Rage coming out relatively soon, in November the 8th, I believe, I can certainly see Tour Guide coming back to 3, simply because having Tour Guide at 3 gives players the opportunity in which to play PK Fire at its full potential, especially with the new Phantom Knight support. And it's also going to mean that more and more people are going to buy the product. So I'm kind of thinking that Konami may go for a little bit of a money spinner so that they can then make as much money out of Phantom Rage as possible. Although it's an amazing card, outside of potentially PK Fire, I can't see it being playable in other decks. However, obviously we don't know what kind of support's coming out for any Fiends, we don't know what kind of support's going to come out in regards to changing the meta as we know it at the moment. The next card I want to discuss is ABC Dragon Buster. Now, it is slightly controversial. I know there's a lot of people saying that it should remain on the semi-limited list. However, if you look at the current state of the meta, there's not much ABC going around, and it is purely because Dragon Buster is at 1. It's not made too much of a difference at 1 at the moment, therefore the only thing I can see them do is put it to 2 or 3 straight away. They have done it in the past whereby they've took a card from the limited list, put it up to 3, and then if it has become power crept or it's enabled another archetype to develop or to strategize with a particular card, they have then relimited it. So it is a potential option for them to do that with ABC Dragon Buster, in my personal opinion. The next card I want to discuss is Sky Strikers. Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor. Apart from a top in a online tournament that Ryan you competed in, Sky Striker hasn't really seen any meta play. Okay, it's played, however, it's not really done as much in comparison to Adamantipator, Synchro Eldritch, or Eldritch Invoked. Especially now Inferno Bulls are out, I can't see Sky Striker becoming too meta relevant. Of course, it's going to be a rogue option for a lot of players. However, without Engage, the deck's not as consistent. Therefore, having Widow Anchor at 3 doesn't really change as much as I believe people think. Therefore, I can see it coming back to 3 in this list. So that rounds off my prediction in regards to the ban list. There are a couple of options that I believe Konami need to look at within the near future. Those are Utopic Zexal and Shrieking of All Calamities. Now, we know that Numeron are so good at making Utopic Zexal, and that's simply because of their field spell. They're not going to hit Numerons at all on this ban list, and that's my personal opinion. It's a new archetype which just come out, and as well as that, they're wanting to make as much money from it as possible. So I believe that the only way you do that and help us as players and to make the meta a little bit fairer is to ban Utopic Zexal. Will it happen on this one? I don't think so, but I certainly think it will be something Konami will look at, especially when competitive events and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes back into our normal routines. Another card is Shrieking of All Calamities, of course. Very splashable in dinos, are able to make level 9s. As well as that, of course, it's also relatively easy to make in Burning Abyss, especially with PK Fire possibly coming back into Metal's Phantom Rage comes out. Shrieking of All Calamities will be easily accessible through their rank up magic spells, and it's going to be essentially easier for your opponent to put a card on the board whereby you can't play the game as efficiently as you'd like. Therefore, I believe they need to look at this, and they need to look at it within the near future. Both these cards should not be in the game at the moment. The game's too, well, it's a dead format in my opinion. Even though I love playing this format due to the variants of decks that are there, having these two cards available at the same time as well essentially means the game isn't as interactive. Therefore, Konami, please ban one, if not both, of these cards. So there you have it. That's my ban list prediction for the September 2020 TCG ban list. Will we get a ban list? That's the question. My personal opinion is no. If we do, I can seriously see these limits, these bans happening. The more likelihood is that the Tour Guide, the Dragon Buster, as well as Widow Anchor are coming back to 3. Without any competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! It's very difficult for them to predict or to correlate information based on what cards are problematic. Although we have an opinion, it's very rare that Konami do look into that. However, hopefully we do get one soon, and we can essentially reset the format and continue to play the game that we love. Thank you very much for your time today, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't liked it, please subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. Leave a like, leave a comment of any cards that you feel need to be banned. If you don't agree with any of the cards that I've predicted or that I've discussed today, Please leave your reasons why and give me your suggestions for that. But without any further ado, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care of yourselves.